have been watching YouTube. You've been watching YouTube drama on Amberlynn Reid. Tell the truth. Okay. Don't hop to it that fast. What? You just gonna come right up to me? You watch Amberlynn Reid? She's your favorite YouTuber. You want to wish her well. Are you moving with her and wifey to another state? She says she's moving to an expensive state. You want to get some nuts there? What? Excuse me. Are you moving with Amberlynn Reid and wifey? Tell the truth now. How do you feel that you are my content? How do you feel about it? Do you know Amber? Hey. Excuse me. Are you Amberlynn Reid's friend? Don't be shady. Are you part of the FBI, the SWAN unit? Have you been keeping Amberlynn Reid's comments at bay? Yes, I said at bay.
Hello everybody. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at what Becky said in her latest video. Becky, Amberlynn Reid's ex-girlfriend, posted a video titled "The Birthday I Don't Remember, Memes That Have Been Fermenting in My Phone for Years." Basically, she discusses the year of 2019. She does mention Amberlynn. She said, "I don't know if you saw my ex's videos from 2019, but that was the worst year of my life."
My 29th birthday. I don't remember anything about it. Misdiagnosed with bipolar type 2. It pretty much turned me into a zombie. I don't remember anything about this. My ex's videos. And a lot of people knew how I was acting really weird.
And she discusses what happened. And the point is, Amberlynn knew, okay, right off the bat, the kind of situation that Becky was in, and still forced her to be an Uber driver. Basically, Becky was misdiagnosed with having bipolar disorder, put on medicine, which eventually put Becky in renal failure, and then eventually she got off the medicine and got a lot better and got on different medicine. But at this time, Amberlynn was pretty much forcing Becky to be an Uber driver, and Becky was totally out of it.
This was literally the worst time in my life. Came hollow and empty and didn't exist.
So she discussed this. We are going to get into it, and I just want to say one thing. I understand that, sometimes people are not really fair to Amberlynn and they, talk about things that like she can't control or things that are superficial. But being a good person in a relationship and not forcing your partner to be an Uber driver for you when they say that they literally don't remember that entire year and they were out of it, I think that's not asking for too much. So we are going to get into it. If you could not tell already from my intro, my videos are for entertainment purposes only. Please do not leave anyone mention any mean-spirited negative comments. I'm sharing opinions, not facts, based on statements made by public figures. Please do not take anything I say seriously. Okay, so basically, we have discussed this a lot. There was a year, 2019, where Becky started acting very different than before. This was all around the time that Amberlynn had gotten Becky that sweater from like Harry Potter, and you could see that Becky wasn't into it, that she didn't care about her birthday, she didn't care about the clothes. She seemed completely out of it. No one knew what was really going on. And Amberlynn would be like, "Oh, well, Becky's going through something, but I'm not going to say it," using it for clicks and views, even though she was saying it. So there is a very famous clip of Becky driving with Amberlynn, and you could see that Amber's visibly shook because Becky just didn't see a car and they almost got into a car accident. So basically, Becky's being misdiagnosed during that year with something she doesn't have. She's put on the wrong medicine. The medicine forces her to be out of it, and then she is still supposed to be operating like a car, which Amberlynn made her. And if any of you go on telling him and ask these questions, it's going to be completely pointless of Amberlynn, because Amberlynn has never taken responsibility for anything in her life. I know Amber will say something like, "Oh, well, I didn't make Becky. Becky wanted to go to Walmart. Becky needed to go." I think this is the solution that Amberlynn should have came up with. Amberlynn was getting 100 to 200,000 views per video. That's between $1,000 to $2,000, and it could be way more. She should have hired herself a driver. She should have just hired herself a driver or taken Ubers everywhere. How can you know that your girlfriend is completely mentally out of it and in a haze Becky says she didn't remember anything about that year. Becky says she didn't remember hanging out with her family, her birthday, this birthday that's documented in Amberlynn's videos that she will never delete because she needs every penny, in my opinion. Becky doesn't remember the year. She calls it the worst of her life. And of course, it was with Amberlynn. Okay. So my question is, how can Amberlynn know all of this, like all of this, and still make Becky drive? And that is honestly the top comment. And look, we can talk about silly stuff or petty stuff, and we don't have to. Let's talk about that Amberlynn actually asked Becky, because I know she's going to say she didn't force her. I believe she did, because Becky, was financially dependent on Amberlynn. It's called financial, ABUSIV. It's so scary to me that at that time you had to help your ex with transportation while you were not mentally coherent. You are such a giving person even when you're not at your best. I'm so happy to know you're in a better place now. I think Becky's a people pleaser. I've met people like that. I know people like that even when it's not good for them, they're going to please people. It's disgusting that Becky was essentially an Uber driver. Exactly, 100% agree. For Amber at that terrible point in her life. All of your viewers were so worried about it at the time too, and then Amber had the nerve to come on camera and declare that Becky was totally fine to drive. Yeah, well, she clearly wasn't. Of course she wasn't. So Becky says she has no memories of her birthday and mainly of that entire year because of the medicine. She doesn't say this next part in the video, but she was in renal failure. They had discussed that at length, and I'm going to link a clip in my description box if you want to hear about how she was in renal failure. She was out of it. She doesn't remember her family, she says. She doesn't remember the entire year. She doesn't remember taking pictures. None of that. And she says, it's all documented in Amberlynn's videos. And Amber was still asking her to drive. What else is there to say? I think that Amber, in my opinion, was acting incredibly selfish in that situation. And more so than that, it's incredibly dangerous. If you know that a person is on heavy medicine that is making them mentally not there, they have no memory, okay? They've lost their short-term memory. They should not be operating a car. That's why they almost got into an accident. But Amberlynn clearly cared enough about herself and not about anybody else. Also, if you have a functioning mindset, you would think if you're getting into a car with somebody who is obviously out of it and you guys get into an accident, you would not be well off either. I just think that this speaks volumes about the type of partner that Amberlynn was. She just didn't care. How dare you ask Becky to drive you anywhere when you knew? See, people didn't know what was going on. People would watch Amberlynn's videos. They would see that Becky was out of it. They didn't know what was going on. But Amberlynn said that she knew. There's a live stream. She says, we found out she was in renal failure. We found out that she was out of it. Okay. So why did you force her to drive you around? That is the most dangerous thing. Also, a fun fact is that Becky tried to break up with Amberlynn during this time, and Amber didn't let her. When somebody really wants to break up with you, they do. You can't stop them unless they are fully financially dependent on you, which I think that's why Becky didn't do it. She probably felt bad for Amber. She knew Amber needed a caretaker, and she probably, more importantly, besides just feeling bad for her, she couldn't financially support herself. She didn't have anybody. Amber was supporting her. So that's probably why she stayed. But in general, I think that if she wasn't financially dependent on Amberlynn and she was in a better, healthier state, she would have clearly left. I think that she wanted to leave Amber. I mean, in part, in my opinion, she didn't say this, but this next part is my opinion. Everything else she said. My opinion is she wanted to leave her because she always wanted to leave her. She knew the relationship was going nowhere. They didn't have an intimate life. They were roommates. And when your non-intimate roommate is forcing you to drive her to Walmart while you're out of it, to not have a memory of the entire year or your birthday, to title a video, Birthday I Don't Remember, that's very severe. And this just kind of proves everything the commenters have been saying and everything. See, Amberlynn doesn't understand. People watch what she would put out and people could see it. You don't have to say things. And, even a lie is very telling, or should I say a lie is really, really telling. So I feel bad for Becky. The only thing that I could say besides having sympathy for her is that she is definitely in a better place. I'm so thankful she got out of the relationship with Amberlynn. That was a toxic relationship, but she needs to heal and block Amberlynn. And I just think that this is typical narcissistic behaviors from Amberlynn, where you have to drive me everywhere instead of me getting hiring a driver or taking Uber everywhere. Why? She wasn't fit to drive. This is illegal. She could have lost her license, really hurt herself, others, and you. I am not surprised. This is what I've been talking to you guys about, and other commenters have talked about this before. YouTube channel, maybe this is the beginning of her opening up more about what happened to her. I'm not saying that she has to at all, But it is very interesting that all of a sudden she chooses to open up about this time in her life. And, you know, I'm sure people will say this, so I'm going to save you to say this in the comments, okay? So you don't have to say it because I'll say it first. It most certainly does have something to do with Amberlynn, because I know people will say, oh no, Becky didn't trash Amber. Okay, the worst year of her life was when she was with Amberlynn, okay? And that it's not like by magic, I love it when magic gets involved, that she tried to break up with her. They said that on the live stream, that she tried to break up with her. I don't think she tried to break up with her because she was on the wrong medicine, or somebody wore the wrong shoes, or somebody was taking pics by a rock wall and selfies, okay? I don't think so. I think Becky knew back then that Amber was the wrong partner for her. And I'm sorry, I don't care who says what about what, okay? At the end of the day, if you ask or force your partner, okay, to drive you around when they're out of it, then this is irredeemable. And there's no defense for this. It's indefensible. Also, Becky even said that she had to be forced out of bed. So obviously, who forced her out of bed? Probably Amberlynn, maybe Eric or Ricky. So Amberlynn knew that Becky had to be forced out of bed, but thought it was a good idea to drive. I don't think so. Absolutely unacceptable. Anyways, I think maybe it's possible, in my opinion. This is the beginning of Becky opening up more about what happened to her with Amber. Yes, yes, no, no. Either way, we'll all be fine. I wish Becky all of the possible best. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Let me know what you think about this video and about what Becky said in the comments down below. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you enjoyed today's video, check out the videos that are popping up here. You may enjoy those, and I will see you very, very soon on the next one. Thanks so much for being here. Bye. Woof. That's just like a bark to make you feel more comfortable. Okay, bye.